Welcome to Pinball Mayhem. Today I'm going to show you a little bit of my 1978 Bally Playboy. This game got maybe about 2-3 months ago. I throw some pictures on Facebook when I was working on it. It was purchased probably 20 years ago and played with a family in a basement. And they were moving out of that, and I had the opportunity to buy it. They didn't even have the keys. They didn't even know how to open it up. There was bands missing and such. It's a good player's condition game, and I've done a little bit of work to kind of make it as nice as I could. So one thing I want to point out is the side of the cabinet. I touched that up, a little bit of black here. I just used a normal acrylic paint, the touch-up paint that everyone's been using. It doesn't have the same shine, but a little bit of black goes a long way. And that's my one hint is you don't have to touch up every color and match it. If you're going to do anything, just take a little bit of lamp black and touch up as much of the black as you can. Just kind of get the idea. Focus on the logos. This girl is the important part. I got the pink fuchsia. It's a different shade in the whole thing, so I kind of had to pick and choose no matter where I was painting after good cleaning. So it was just a good idea just to touch up. I touched up the whites and blacks on both sides. I believe that side on the top, there was an American flag sticker on it. And when I peeled it off, I took some paint with it. So that's kind of one of those things. I didn't want to have a big rectangle of random ripped off paint. You can see my pink didn't match perfectly. But I figured it's a whole lot better than a respray. A couple things I did to the game, gave it a good cleaning. Front door is pretty straight and clean. I went through, clean and wax the Playfield. And I'm going to pull the camera in a little bit closer so you guys can see that. Playfield does have some wear, kind of around this area. The girl back here. Gave it a clean and wax, and all the GI bulbs I replaced with new. The bulbs on the bottom, a lot of them were newer, so are in really good shape, not much used. So I didn't replace every single bulb in this. I wouldn't consider this like a full shop job. I would consider it a light shop because it's in pretty good shape. The plastics were cleaned up real well with plastic cleaner apron. I cleaned. There was a sticker here and here. Carefully removed the stickers very carefully, and I lightly cleaned it. What I did is I treat it like score reels. You don't want to spray it down too much. If you do spray it, take it off right away. Let the area dry fully before you try to clean it again, because it soaks into this paint. You'll start taking the pink off. Here you can see a dark square. That's where the sticker was for years on it, but it was half worn off. So I carefully removed the adhesive by using the sticker to take it off. Yeah, clean and wax. Put all the posts and plastic parts through an ultrasonic. Threw some pink bands in there. I thought that would look nice. One thing I do is I threw some LEDs in the pop bumper caps because they're traditional for getting warm. You can see it's cracked and brown in the middle. They give a decent glow, and they give a glow all around, but they also prevent these from getting worse. And you don't have to replace them as long as they still make contact. New bodies, new skirts, and chrome polished all the parts that came off. Pull the back glass out. I'll show you what I did up here. Open this up. Let's see in the back. Can we see, or am I blocking you? No, you can't see. What I ended up doing in here is I replaced all the pins in these connectors. This one and this one on the rectifier board were completely melted. So I put new headers in. This one, the original header was good. The original housing was good. New housings, but the pins all got replaced with 3-sided, they call them TurfCon pins. You do that all the time, no matter what, even if everything's good. Another thing you do, replace the connectors, the actual headers on this board. All 3 of those have been replaced, so that's new, and the pins are new. So this is kind of the root of most of your issues are going to be bad power. Second issue, up here, selenite driver board. I ended up replacing this header. I believe I replaced this one because it was short and I had it out. New high voltage filter cap, a new 5-volt filter cap, and there's some modifications. If you start looking online, you'll see those. I think we did a video about some of the mods. We didn't actually show them, but that we were going to do on the Bally stern boards, where you tie the ground down to the ground bus from this, and you also tie these 2 test points together, which is the 5 volts on both sides of the boards. That's solid up this. Lamp board, I had a couple bad headers, replaced those. The MPU on this one actually had acid damage that was repaired, but then it kind of came back. It dripped down here, so I got these scrubbed. I re-scrubbed both of those, and I did a vinegar bath and dry overnight. Vinegar bath, vinegar and water, soaked that, pulled it out, rinsed it out with alcohol, flung the board to get any of that off of it, and then I let it dry at least overnight before I put it back in. That's when I ended up replacing the headers parts after that. So if you see damage, remove what you're going to remove anyways, do the acid ramifications, and then put them back on. So like this header was going to go no matter what. So I pulled this off, pulled some solder off, and a remote battery. So that's what I ended up doing here. Now I had a couple lamps that didn't work. Ended up being 4 of these transistors down here need to be replaced. Not the ones that had the little acid damage on the tab, which I neutralized, but down here there's just 4. Must have burned out over time. So that is what was done to this game. I can think of right now. I probably did a few other things. Oh yeah, that reminds me. All right, the gate down here was missing completely. I had a gate that I found in the bottom of the game that I thought went here, but it was more like a centaur gate where it had that little edge to help you help it go through an out lane, like a save gate. So it obviously wasn't the right one because there's no way that would fit here. So I ended up taking some piano wire and built a new one. I didn't even find a good picture, so I just went down and up. I just tested it to make sure the ball wouldn't get stuck here. It does help. It's worked a few times. So I am going to throw the glass on, throw the lockdown bar on, and play a couple games for you before we call it a video. Now, lockdown bar in this game, you have to open up the coin door and do the lever. The lever on the Bally's like this doesn't let you close the coin door when it's in the wrong position. This guy here, the lever's right here, so this guy actually will cause it so it'll either hit here, or even if it's partially, when you start doing that, you're banging on the lock. So you don't bang it too hard, but that pretty much means the lockdown bar isn't locked all the way to the right. One other thing, and I always recommend this, it's one of those things that if you don't do it, it's just kind of almost cheap. Barrel spring, they're 50 cents. If you're fixing up a lot of games, buy them in the bulk of 5 or 6. Have them around. They look really nice compared to a game which didn't do it. It's just like there's my Flash Gordon, and I haven't put a barrel spring on here. This guy could use a polish too. But just like it's just one of those things that it's just one of those little touches to me that means somebody cares about the job. The other thing is the shooter rod. You notice compared to like the Flash Gordon one, this is really nice and shiny. What I ended up doing is I took this off. There's some burrs on the end. I put it in a drill, like a cordless drill, and I used chrome polish, triple O steel wool. Held it in one hand with a rag in it because it's going to get hot, and I used the drill to polish it and keep moving it around with a paste mag wheel polish is what I use. So it's Mother's aluminum and mag polish. I polished the aluminum really nice. Got that crusty old clear coat that was all yellowed off of there. Went around, did the back side of it, kind of hit the top of the rod too. So it really just kind of a nice little touch. It feels great too. But just give a nice polish to that and just make it look shiny. Our Playmate lights on the left, we got our keys, the 4 keys in the top and the 5 key, which correspond to the lights in the grotto shot. We have the grotto lane, and we got our bunny drops, and our bonus. So the trick is to get the bonus up to 20, and when you hit these guys, you get bonus, I believe, in lanes, a few things like that. So, thing about 80s or 70s and 80s solid state Bally's, they can be brutal. One thing you have to drive home is especially if you're shopping a game not for yourself, always play the crap out of it. Play, because you're going to find stuff. I played this game, I found some switches that needed adjustment. Like we just found right now, I thought it was ready to go, and I just got a little bit of a sensitive slingshot. And that's with the tilt sound. So, on that note, I showed you a couple tap passes, show you the gameplay, kind of what I did to it. I know I forgot some stuff. I rebuilt the flippers. There's always going to be something that you can't remember. So, biggest thing to remember when you're working on a game, if you're shopping it, or selling it for someone else, or for yourself, the list of things you do isn't important. It's the fact that you got a really good, solid game, you're happy with your work, and so is the person that gets it. So thank you for watching. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe for YouTube if you haven't subscribed yet, and see our latest videos.